everyone. Welcome to Talkin Tea. I'm glad you can make it. Today is going to be an amazing topic. So, today is a day that means a lot to me. Today, we will be discussing men's mental and emotional health. And I'm going to tell you a little bit why this means so much to me. Number one, being a mom of a young Black man, I often check in on my son. Shout out to my son, Rain. I check in on his mental and emotional health. You know, he's moved away from home for the first time in his life. He is newly married. He's been married for about 2 years. And so I check his temperature. How you doing? Do you need to express anything? What's on your mind? Because I want to make sure he understands that it is okay for him to cry, to be angry, as long as he knows how to process those things accordingly. So I want to give you a couple of facts before I bring on today's guest. Fact number one, and you see me looking over, I'm reading because I don't want to get them wrong. Fact number one, globally and nationally, men account for about 75 to 80% of suicide deaths. This is due to social pressures, not feeling that they can report on their depression without judgment, and no representation of help when seeking mental and emotional health services. Fact number two, many men, especially men of color, grow up under cultural or generational expectations. They're told to, quote unquote, tough it out or suppress vulnerability. Men are expected to be stoic, masculine figures in their homes and their community. Fact number three, men of color disproportionately experience economic instability, discrimination, and exposure to violence. All strong predictors of chronic stress and poor mental health. So think along the lines of employment barriers, housing insecurity, and systemic bias, all centered around the color of their skin. Fact number four, men, especially men of color, are less likely to receive mental health services. And when they do, they are often misdiagnosed or not fully understood due to cultural gaps in care. The last fact, many men are not taught emotional literacy, how to name, express, and regulate feelings in healthy ways. This results in emotional isolation. Without emotional safe environments, many men turn inward, leading to loneliness, anger, repression, or relationship breakdowns. So today we are going to be hearing from sons, fathers, brothers, uncles, men of color. So please join me in welcoming from Culture Clash Network, from Marks with Mics, we have JT.
Hey, what's
From
going on there?
JB, from JB versus the World, we have JB. From Society and Pop Culture 101, we have BK.
What's up? What's up?
And from Sports4U Wrestling and Sports4U, or as Monty would call it, the Sports Ball channel, we have the OTC Trail and
Yo,
the main event, John Watson.
Yeah,
what's good? What's good?
How are you guys doing today?
feeling good,
Drained,
feeling
drained.
good, feeling
But
good,
good.
feeling good.
Another day in paradise.
I'm
That's
good.
right.
I'm good.
So I first want to say this, okay? I want you guys to be comfortable. I want you to feel open to share. I'm not going to call y'all out or go around the room. If you hear a question that speaks to you, just answer it. All right? So I want to also say this. When we say men, some of the characteristics that come to mind are strong, provider, leader, protector, safety, in some cases, dominant in the best of ways. However, we don't always talk about what happens underneath all that. Underneath your strength, underneath your leadership, whether it's in your marriage, your career, your community, or under your being safety for those that are connected to you. So, here's my first question, and anybody can jump in and answer this. When you think of mental and emotional health, what comes to mind for you personally?
Oh, let me grab this real
Hmm.
quick.
Go ahead.
Uh, mental and emotional health safety, right?
Yep.
Mental and emotional are connected the same way the neck bone is connected to the head bone, shoulder bone. You remember the song, right? I
Mhm.
always say that, if you let it affect here, it's going to affect here, right?
Right.
And sometimes it's vice versa. But learning how to manage that and finding a safe space to express that is, I want to say, more so now, it's more so encouraged versus back then it really wasn't. You know the old
Right.
saying, hey, you better man up, better toughen up, right? Now, not so much. Men are now expressing, men are now going into therapy, but a lot of men from my era have not gone into that now, right? When you talk about the man of this era, we're talking men inside their early 20s. They have that outlet. They've had outlet for a while. As far as men that are in their 30s and their 40s and 50s and beyond, that was never the case. You would never hear, it's especially growing up, like, hey, I'm going to go speak to my psychiatrist as a man of color, black man. Never.
Mm-mm.
Now we have that outlet. And I mentioned this in Society and Pop Culture, I want to say about a year ago. We, as men, we like to do everything in one trip. I use the analogy of carrying the grocery bags, right? A man would grab 15 grocery bags instead of grabbing a few and coming back because they want everything done fast. They want it done quick. Sometimes we carry too much emotional baggage, and that may be 15 different bags that we're carrying, but we don't offset that to have someone else help us manage that baggage. And that is the thing far as for and emotional, mental and emotional feelings and expressions and mental health. We do not share that baggage, and I encourage all men to go out there and share that baggage because you're going to get to a point when you're trying to carry all that baggage and your body's going to give out physically, mentally, and emotionally.
I love that analogy of the grocery bags. JB, did you want to say something?
No, just about ultimately just finding a way to secure your peace and your own happiness. And those things are personal, whatever that looks like or whatever that could mean to you. But it's about finding that and being secure in that place. Like regardless of what it means or what it looks like to anybody else. But I can't really add too much. Like JT kind of like encapsulated everything. But that's to be expected of Hefe. But yeah.
Like, no, no, no. I like to compare mental and emotional health to like you something that you use in everyday life, like your car. The mental health is like the engine. If you don't take care of the engine of the car, eventually the car is gonna break down and break down and break down, and eventually it's gonna die out. It ain't gonna work like it's supposed to work, and then you can be in some problems. Baggage is like, you have too many people in the car, and the car weighs down to the point that it doesn't run as smooth. So sometimes you have to find that outlet to unleash those baggage because the as the year goes by, the more and more it weighs down. You could be looking at 10, 15 years of wear and tear and maintenance. And when someone expects you to act a certain way, how are you gonna act a certain way if you're not understanding the wear and tear that took a toll to get where I'm at now? And then I'm supposed to drop it out of nowhere just like that because you're not used to something like that. So it means a lot to first you have to understand it yourself before you can understand someone else.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you.
Go ahead, John. Go ahead. Out.
All right. Yeah, Trell said you got to find ways to find that balance. when you think about your mental health, you gotta sometimes know when times are getting really like overwhelmed. You gotta know when to step back. Sometimes as men, because like the macho thing is, oh, let's do it all I want. Let's take it all head first, and instead of just falling back, breathing, take some time, and controlling whatever state you in. Emotionally, it's control, keeping yourself in a happy place, but then also make sure you don't just crash out for no reason or ready to just jump the gun on just the littlest things. Sometimes we as men, we get if it's just the littlest thing that bothers us, it'll bother it. We think it's the end of the world. So I look at it as, okay, if I could just find that balance and making sure I'm good and I'm in a happy place, I'm all right.
Thank you guys.
Hey,
And
there's a baby. I see a baby.
I know.
Oh man, nephew on the screen. What's up, nephew?
Yeah. Taught him well. Taught him well. Shout out to Big Unc.
He was with us on Friday for He's Watch Along. He was eating his little heart out. So I have put out a challenge to all the ladies to show up to support the men of CCN. And so here's a few of them. We got Monty saying hey to y'all. Hey, Monty.
What's up,
Hey,
Monty?
Monty.
We got Nesta.
What up?
We got TR, Main Event Mamas. Cannot wait to have y'all on the show.
What's up, y'all?
The author Lena Dow is here.
Of course.
And then Kiara, she agreed with JT. And Nesta said, y'all got to be able to breathe too. Absolutely. And
It's
shout
hard,
out
though.
Hey, Ariel.
Don't mess with that.
Name wrong. All right.
It's my girl Holly right there. It's my girl Holly from out in Colorado. One of my most podcasts. You know what I'm saying? How supporting. This is kind of like her field. And when I told her I was doing this pod, she wasn't going to miss it for the world. So shout out to you, Holly. I love you, girl.
Welcome.
That's cool.
Please
Right
be
there.
commenting. So my next question for you all. What messages did you get growing up about showing emotion or asking for help, and how has that applied to your life today?
Let me start here. Okay, I got it. Thank you. I am first gen American on my father's side, Nigerian, very old school. That wasn't something that was really encouraged or kind of looked at as a bright spot. So that's something I had to kind of find my own voice within myself, whether through external, with my friends or other outlets, to kind of just break away from that, because just being part of that other culture and being a part of a whole different way of doing things generationally. So just try to make it and find a way for it to be okay for me, as opposed to anybody on that side. So even I guess, for example, I'll get a little personal here. Earlier this year, I was diagnosed with long-term depression, and I had been saying for years and years, and even to my father, I'm like, hey man, I think this is the thing that's going on with me. I think this is a real issue. And he's like, no, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. And here I am. And just now knowing that, and it's something different entirely, but it's something I can know that it's a part of myself, and it doesn't have to drag me down. It doesn't have to weigh me down. It's a part of who I am, as part of my makeup, the good, the bad of who I am as a person. And now I can adapt and roll with it. And life is more manageable now that I know that, and I've gotten help for that.
Well, I'll go. I never had the ability to have that outlet of talking to someone or asking anyone for help. Because my father actually, I think maybe like 6 or 7, maybe 8, he had took off. So he stopped coming around and stuff. So it was just me and my mom. So I never really had friends because, I was never allowed to go to people's houses, couldn't have company over. So it was literally just me, like I was the only child. So if I ever wanted to speak about something, only thing I had to talk to was my Sega Genesis and my TV. Here, just sit here, be a kid, and away from the outside world. So I really never had a big brother because I have an older sister, but I've never really lived with her all through my life. So I never had that older sibling to talk to. So looking back at it now at the age of 41, I know I probably struggled with mental illness, not mental illness, maybe depression, but I just didn't know it. But as I got older, I'm always noticing, like, I'm always in a bad mood, or when things are going good, I'm always just sitting there like I'm Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. So it was like 2019, I went through a depression, but I got myself out of it by taking a trip, and it helped. So it's like I usually compare everything to like Robin Williams because I'm always there for people, and people laugh and stuff like that. But sometimes I'm like, no one asks if I'm good or checks in with me and stuff like that. So that's something I always navigate on my own until I guess courageous enough to seek the help now as an adult because I'm so used to keeping it bottled up inside or dealing with it with myself. But because I didn't have a bad childhood, but I'm that means a lot. So yeah, that's pretty much how it is now. But I still struggle from it from time to time. But I've been trying to be better about it of how I keep myself around good people, give myself a hobby. This is why I'm always, if you see me every day on YouTube, because I'm trying to keep myself busy. So, and for the most part, it works. So, yeah.
Thank y'all, JB and Trell, for sharing that. I want to give a shout out to Mimi. She was with us at 5 this morning, but she has a good comment. She said, "Thanks for hosting this, Faith, of course. And thank you guys for sharing. This isn't easy for anyone, especially in this society and for men of color. Big ups and lovingly listening and holding space." Shout out to Mimi. Thank you, Mimi.
Go ahead, mommy.
Kiara says, "Sometimes changing your surroundings can help depression. Look at Montreal being all sensitive and insightful. I see
This is what
Hey, man.
Hey,
I,
Cody.
Cody.
Thanks for stopping by. And as always, the beautiful Miss JoJo. Hey, JoJo.
Hey,
I
JoJo.
want I want to touch on something JB said because it kind of the same kind of thing happened with my son when I stepped away from my relationship with his dad. We never talked about emotions in the house. Me growing up, it was just what happens in this house stays in this house, and you try to tough through it and you make through it, and that's just what it is. And after I had left my marriage, my son had a very hard time understanding and connecting with me. And I did not recognize the signs of depression in him until it was some months later. And when he came to me, it was like, "Look, I'm feeling this way. I don't understand how I'm feeling." I kind of was like, "You know what? You need to tough it up." And I always ask him to forgive me for that because he was reaching out for help and I was in my own anger and in my own depression and I was shutting him out. And as parents, I think it's really important that when our children come to us or even just a loved one comes to us and say, "Look, this is what I'm feeling. I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure how to process it." No matter what we're dealing with, we need to take a moment and really focus and hear what they're saying. So JB, again, thank you for sharing that. My next question, what kind of spaces or conversations do we need more of for men, especially men of color, when it comes to mental and emotional health?
I say, even though we know that we're more susceptible to going to therapy, I will still say it's still a conversation that needs to have more input on, especially from us black men. We hear it from women, we hear from black women a lot that therapy is great, but we don't necessarily hear it from ourselves. And I think that's something that I practice myself here because I didn't go to therapy for my entire life, and I didn't realize that I was suppressing certain emotions and things because I was so good at being friendly and being the battery for everybody else that I didn't realize that I needed to be I needed to have that outlet as well. So here for like a year or so I've been going to therapy too, but that was because someone else, you know, and it was my wife, she was seeing that I needed it. So I think if we have more people explaining that to other people, especially when you see people going through some stuff, I think we'll have a bigger uptick in therapy for black men. We need more
I like,
black men therapists too.
yes, representation is important in all areas. Anyone else want to chime in on that?
I'll
Yeah,
piggyback.
just find a way to just be vulnerable with one another. Okay, as a child doing the stuff in here. All right, so hold on a second. I'm sorry.
I got you, bro. I got you. All right, feedback what BK was saying. We need to find more people in that's qualified in that space to talk to, and people who are willing to listen and not just listening just because you asked them to listen. I can find a place in many times where I don't have to go. It don't have to necessarily be a family member. I can go to my pastor. I go to some of my deacons I can talk to. I have my CCN family I can talk to. You find that safe space. And when you find that safe space and you find those people who, not just who are friends, but confidants. My sister Coco always tells me this. When our members, her name was Tanya, she passed about 10 years ago after a battle with cancer. And she always called her skillet. And I was like, I wonder why she called her that. And I knew her since I was a kid. But she said it was because she was her confidant. There was conversations where she know if she can talk to her about something really dark, it wasn't going to leave that room. And that's the type of people you need to have around. You know, the people who, you know, when you're in your deepest, darkest hour, and if you say something to them, it's going to stay right there, and it's not going to go anywhere. So, and like BK said, we need more people qualified. You said it, representation does matter. We don't have a lot of black men therapists. I did it. I've been into it. I've sat in therapy sessions when I was with my daughter's mother at the time, and our therapist was white. No offense, but we do need more people of color because who's going to understand us better than us?
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Look
Mhm.
At you.
Yeah, so like I was trying to say earlier, we as black men need to be able to hold space for each other in these regards, to have these vulnerable and honorable and vulnerable spaces, because some of us can't go to therapy. Some of us have issues that require immediate attention, something that's bothering us or weighing us down, and having a vent, having a safe space, having like somebody be able to just like hear us out or even just bounce something off of can be vital, especially like in crucial moments. So I'm very lucky to be able to say I can call BK most of the time if I need something. So like, and that's been a big thing in our friendship over like the last decade and some change now.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah,
We're old
it's been a
friends at
long
this
time.
point.
It's been at least 3 presidents. But
You know what? You're right. You're right.
but yeah. So just having good and vulnerable friends is a lifesaver. Because I would say, like, before I went to therapy, that having those relationships not only kind of saved me, but also kind of functioned as, like, stopgap until I got the actual help that I was able to need. And even in clutch moments, I'm gonna need some therapy if you keep messing around. Boy,
Thank you guys for chiming in. I wanted to point out this comment from Ariel. He said, personally, I've been a victim of it for so long. I got verbally violated by insults and all that. That pissed me off. But thank God I found a friend, a doctor who taught me how not to respond. I want to say this too, and shout out to you, Ariel. And I'm glad you found that person. It kind of ties together what Trell said earlier and what JBU just said. Check in with your friends, check in with your family, check in on your uncles, your brothers, your cousins, whoever that man is in your life, check in with them. A lot of times, and I know this from the men in my family, they wear a mask, they wear smiles, they say things are okay, but really take the time to check in with them. Whether you got to go in person, whether you got to set up a Zoom call if they live across the country, whatever you got to do, whether they're smiling, whether they're frowning, check in with them, give them time, and let them know that what you are about to talk about won't go beyond wherever you are. Kiara says 100% it's hard to find a therapist who understands the cultural challenges we deal with. I agree with John completely. It's needed and something I prioritize for myself. Same here. I was in therapy for 2.5 years and I still check in with therapy as things have gone on in my life. When I got the colon cancer, definitely went back to therapy on that. When I was feeling down and was locked in this dark area for a year and a half. Therapy is not a bad word. Therapy is actually a good word, and it does not make you a weaker person to go to therapy. It actually makes you stronger.
I think it's also good to add that when you do find a therapist, it's okay to switch therapists if
Mhm.
that therapist is not for you. There might
Absolutely.
be a reason, like you're just not clicking. It's okay to break up with your therapist if you choose.
That's right. You're right.
You got
Yeah.
to in that relationship and move on to another.
Oh yeah, you have to. You have to.
and can I add one more thing?
Mhm.
Don't be afraid to say no. Like,
Mhm.
don't be afraid to say no. Like, if somebody needs something and you just don't have the bandwidth for it, whether physically or emotionally, just say no. It's okay. You cannot pour from you cannot pour from an empty cup. Say no. Find
Amen.
time and take space for yourself.
Hmm.
Absolutely. I am in my era of no, and especially in my era of hell no. So I have never been that comfortable to say no before. I've always been open to, yes, I can help you because I'm a people pleaser. I have a big heart. And now I know that saying no, even hell no, it's not shutting that person away from me, but it's just helping them to understand where my boundaries are right now and what I have capacity for. So saying
Hmm.
no, okay. Kiara says she subscribes to the
Hell
hell
no.
no.
Yeah,
How
Thank
about you?
and people who really are your peoples, they'll be like, "All right, I feel you, I understand." It's the ones who don't have your best interests are the ones that always says like, "Oh, you changed," or "You this, you the asshole now," or something. So that's pretty much a way of God telling you, "Hey, you have this power now. You can see who's for you and who isn't." So sometimes saying no is a powerful thing.
Yeah, you ain't lying, bro. Because sometimes it's hard to you don't want to see, especially someone you real close to. You don't want to see them down. But sometimes you gotta protect people from themselves. And when you do, and sometimes when you end up trying to make sure that person is protected, you leave yourself open. And when you leave
Yep.
yourself open, that's when things get shaky. So I had to learn that also because obviously I had grown up first. I used to deal with trying to be accepted, trying to do do everything this and that in my teens. But I got to the point when I was like 16 or 17. I was like, I just don't care. I do me. I'll come to school every day in sweats and hoodies, and I don't give a shit. And that's how it started. This hoodie thing with me and sweats that started way back at Westchester High in 2000.
That explains it.
If Mark was here, if my brother Mark, if Mark was here, he'd tell you we went to high school together. The sweat and hoodie thing, I did that way my junior year. I made it work. And I did it pretty much most of my senior year too, all the way until I got my diploma. And no one judged me on the way I dressed because I went to Westchester, and that was and people thought that was a school where everybody was judging you on fashion and this and that. But I'm like, no, man, I was never judged. I barely had a pair of J's in high school. Hard to believe, but you know what I'm saying. I just found myself comfortable in my own skin, and I do that more now as I got into my 30s and now into my 40s, where I'm just in like, you know what, I don't care. I'm gonna live life. I got someone I got to live for now, and it ain't you.
That sounds nice. Cause growing up in the South, growing up in Atlanta, like fashion spoke volumes, interest spoke
I feel
volumes.
you. I grew up in Texas, and like, oh, you got them shoes? Okay.
Yeah. Like just being a kid, like just being a kid that I was like with all the nerdy trends growing up, like Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles, Pokemon when it was blowing up, Dragon Ball Z when it was like sweeping the nation. Like I was there first. I'm like the OG nerd, and like even in my own bloodline, I'm like the OG nerd. And that it came with a lot of criticism and a lot of bullying. And I think the turning point for me personally was when I got to high school. I got on the football team, and when I started lifting weights, it literally got to the point where it's like I got too swole for y'all to try to beat my ass. So that kind of slowed it down in one regard. But it wasn't until college until I found my own tribe, like a group of nerds. And I'll never forget the moment where I'm just walking around the cafeteria and I hear these Negroes loud arguing about the Flash and which Flash was fastest. And I immediately went over there, immediately became friends with them. I've been down with them boys for damn near 20 years at these points. We locked in. But yeah, just finding your tribe and finding that kind of comfortability thing, it wasn't easy for all of us. And it definitely affected the way that we grew up. So like this version of myself openly is who I've always was, like on the inside, but I didn't have a lot of spaces to be that way because of the outside pressures of what somebody else would say, like girls not liking it or the popular kids making fun of me for it. Like, so just having to like find that and just continuously just learn to be comfortable in it. Now I don't care. Now I don't care. Like, you want to talk about Dragon Ball Z? Let's talk about it. Because one, like, it's me and it's my interest. You don't have to talk about it with me too. You're not gonna beat my ass over it. So this is what makes me happy.
My young experience was slightly differently than you guys' in the sense of I dealt with bullying. I dealt with people not understanding who I was, and pretty much my entire life, even now. But I think for me, it was all about continuing to be the authentic person that I am, even from a kid. I also have like 3 other siblings, so we're diametrically different. So having that instilled in me mentally was challenging, yes, but it made me stronger. I feel like it made me stronger to a point that I became the battery and the strong mountain for other people to stand on, to be themselves when they talk to me. I mean, that within itself did become a problem for me eventually, being that person. But I think that was just how God was molding me to be. And I enjoy being the person that everybody leans on. But I do have to tell people no. Sometimes I just don't answer the phone. I have to screen the call a little bit, like I call you back in a couple hours. And if JB comes back, he'd probably say it's like a week later, but which is true. Which is true.
Ouch.
I mean, yeah, about 5 business days. Yeah.
Not 5 business days.
But I get there before the crash out.
You
Yeah,
might
more
not be
times often than
on
not.
his side. You might not
So
be on
more
Jake's
times often than not.
side. So I want to go back to something that I heard you guys talk about and kind of mention, and that was the whole fashion aspect. I think a lot of times we use, I know for me, the way that I dressed was a protection and a comfort of who I really was. Like it was a barrier for me to say you can't see who I really am. Because if I let you see who I really am, then I feel like you are coming to destroy me. Like, what's your agenda? Because I ain't gonna lie, I was the bigger girl in the class. I developed sooner. It was very uncomfortable, so I rocked the baggy sweatshirts. I ain't even gonna lie, I rocked the Kango. Don't ask me why I was rocking the Kango. I don't know.
You want to be
Kango
a
was
LL
back
Cool
in
J? You want to be a
2000,
LL Cool J?
2001.
It had nothing to do with L Cool J. It was just something that me and another girl that I found friendship in. That's just how we were. That's how we protected who we really were. We kind of hid from the world that way. Monique or Moni said, I find it interesting that our community delivers two different messages to us as a Black woman cuddled, so to speak, by my loved ones, but Black men are told to not cry. I want to know their opinions.
Mm.
Y'all got any opinions on that?
Yeah, because there's lots of times my mom, we used to go to like her friend's house and her friend had like a boyfriend or whatever, or we go to like a family member's house. And if I'm like crying about something, it's like, man, quit crying, go do some push-ups, do this, do that. It's never like, sit you down and give you like a life lesson talk about this is why, this is how it's going, this is why your mom disciplined you this way. None of that. It just, fuck you crying for? Like, and he's not even my dad. And he's like telling me like stop crying and stuff like that. So it's like I've heard that multiple times, and I've been in a relationship probably about like 20 years ago where I tried to express my feelings about something and it gets sent back to, oh, you're always complaining or you're always whining about something. It's like, well, damn, how am I supposed to tell you what's going on if this is what I get? So I usually start shutting down from people. So yeah, I definitely understood what Monty is saying, because we're told that we're not allowed to have feelings. We're just supposed to be the Hulk, the He-Man, the Terminator.
Superman.
Yeah, like and it's like it's not like that. Hell, even Superman had a problem. Why do you think he always went to his parents to have a talk? Batman went to Alfred. So it's like the superheroes that we supposed to be, they had people to talk to. So it's kind of ironic when they always told us we're not supposed to be that way.
I watched my father not really express his emotions a lot. So as a parent, I wanted to fill in the blanks that he didn't fill in. And I knew culturally and upbringing wise, he got a lot of siblings. So I can understand by the time it got to him that it wasn't like a lot of emotional love shown. Not saying that there was not any love there with my father. It was plenty. But that was never the man up conversations happened from time to time with uncles and cousins and stuff. So when it came down to my son, he was having issues and he would come home, he would get upset about things. I would tell him it was like a middle ground, like don't show this to the public side because they're not gonna understand your tears, especially in our area. They're not. They're gonna take that and they're gonna use that against you. But when you come home, when you enter these doors at this house, you let loose as much as you want to. And we will talk about whatever emotions you need to talk about, because I also understood that he needed to free those emotions. But you kind of can't do that in the public space, especially not at a school. They will eat you alive.
Yeah.
even now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
With me, my dad wasn't around. My dad got rest soul. He would have told you, my name was Tony Watson, and I'm a stone cold crackhead. So, but he got sober, and we'll talk about that later on during the show, probably. But my mama was the person with me because she grew up a single mother, so she had to be tough on me sometimes, and she was always working because she wanted to make sure I had everything I needed. I mean, I was a spoiled only child, so my mom worked the swing shifts. But one day she was 1 week she's working from 6 to 2, 1 week she's working from 2 to 10. Then 1 week she's working graveyard. But it didn't bother me because but she was hard on me, but she also showed me the love that I needed. I kind of got my communication for me to how to deal with stuff was talking to my grandmother up until she passed when I was 13. So my grandmother was blind. She was blind from the time my mom was in junior high to the day the Lord called her home. I could find ways to be around her and talk, but I couldn't say the stuff to my mom. And obviously, when my dad got back in my life after he got sober, I still had to develop that too because only real male figures I had was like my uncle, my mom's, both of my parents' brothers on both sides. And whatever man my mom would be in a relationship, they seemed to cling to me, but they wasn't trying to act like they was my daddy. I would say that I respect them for that. So, but I never had that relationship where I can talk to them. Maybe with one person, that was my mentor. His name was Reverend Dwayne Dreer. He and my mom dated for 2 years. I always call him Pops. He's that one person that I could talk to about anything and everything. And he'll talk to me as a son, and then he'll also be able to talk to me as a man and let me know what's and don't make it seem like he's being all macho and shit and telling you can't stop being soft.
Mm-hmm.
Can I add something? Because I see like in the comments everybody's saying that this is something that we all it's culturally everywhere, and that is true. But I still think at some point I think it starts as a protection, because we want to make sure that our sons come home. We want to make sure that they're seen in society as upstanding, strong men. And you can't be that if you're out here being emotional, is what they would say at that point. So I think for the time period, that's what everybody's mindset may have been. But we're slowly changing that now. But I'm not saying it was good. I'm just saying it was a measure of protection that maybe went overboard,
Yeah, I have had that conversation with my son during that time where we saw a lot of Black people being killed in the news and things. I remember being in the car with my son and we was grooving. Okay, when I'm in the car with the kids, we grooving. A policeman pulled up next to us and my son immediately froze. And I'm still over here grooving, oblivious to him freezing. And I just happened to see that he wasn't dancing anymore. And I look over and he just got tears coming out of his eyes. And as we drove on, I asked him, I said, what's going on? And he was angry. Even though that police officer may not have done nothing, he was angry and he wanted to act out. He felt like he wanted to roll down the window and yell, how could you be a part of a system that's doing this to us? And we've done. So I get it. I get what you're saying, BK. Like him doing that would have caused a bigger problem. It potentially could have gotten him arrested. And so I totally get when you get inside these four walls, let's talk about it, let it out, let's process it. Let me help you understand how to process it. I want to
that
get
comes
to
back to
something.
emotional intelligence too,
Yes.
That part.
So, couple comments. Nessa, she's saying no is a boundary, and you'll realize who is truly here for you. When those boundaries are set, the real ones will understand, and the ones that aren't will have a problem with it. I agree with that.
Every time.
And they can go.
Yep.
Exactly.
Kiara said I grew up in the A and fashion was not a thing. Dudes rolled up in white tees and some oversized jeans.
She grew up in the franchise boys era.
All right, so in I guess so the big white tees thing, that was the Snap era, and that was around the time I got close to graduating high school. So like the Fat Farms, the Fubu's, the
Miss that
Jerseys,
part.
the Jays, like those were like all like that was like the era for me from like 6th grade through high school.
My era too.
And like those were like if you didn't have that, like you were questioned. Like my
Facts.
brother valued those things, and my brother like did whatever. What else? Jabos too. So like those like those that era. Hey,
I was always
so
at Foot Locker.
so
My entire
yeah,
time.
I
always at
never
Foot
had that
Locker.
luxury.
Oh man,
Never had
let's see,
Chipotle. I've
Foot
never had
Locker. What was the other joint? Not
Finish line.
Champ. Finish line. Yes. So like if you weren't there getting your clothes, like I wore graphic tees a lot, and I wore like button ups. My clothes fit. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't sagging a lot of the time. Also, I speak like I do currently, where they ask like, "Oh, are you? Do you want to be white?" And it's like, no, I'm
I
just.
hate that.
Oh my god, that was like a lot of my childhood, and yeah, so all those things combined. And again, I have a younger brother who was like into those things, into fashion, into like the social norms, and me not being so much. It was a divide.
I want to point out this comment from TJ. He said they want us to be Superman when sometimes we just want to be Clark Kent.
Ooh, man, realizing that Clark Kent is Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When the time is right, you know, you put the
Then
gear
he
on.
becomes Superman. Exactly.
Yeah.
But the default is Clark.
Yup.
Facts.
We got a
Superman was
comment
carrying them
from
grocery bags JT was talking about.
Exactly.
True. Arthur Lena Dow said mental health is like a war. You fight or suffer in silence. You never know someone's battle. Take a minute and check in and take some struggle seriously. Someone's struggle seriously. True. True. And speaking of Arthur Lena Dow, as you guys know, this month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. If you've heard Lena's story about how she had breast cancer, has overcome it. She has a memoir coming out. Can't wait for that. So today, Talkin Tea honors Lena and her fight with breast cancer. She is a survivor. So guys, please go out and support breast cancer awareness.
My mother's
We love
also
you
a breast
over
cancer
here, Lena.
survivor. And
Go
so
ahead,
is
John.
Mrs. And so is Miss Maxine. My mother's
Oh
also
yeah,
a
my
breast
mother is also a cancer survivor.
cancer survivor. So shout out to
Love
all
all
Yeah,
of
shout
them.
out to the cancer survivors, man. F
Yeah.
cancer.
yeah.
For
I
real.
lost,
F cancer,
I
for
lost my
real.
daddy to it, but he still kept my mama, so I can't be mad. Hey,
Mimi says, thank for her, JB. People started calling her Oreo. I love Oreo, so I don't care. Mimi, I love
You know
you.
what I'm saying?
that's
Hey,
what
me really.
me too. I love me some Oreos, man. I never
Exactly.
understood that. I didn't get that. I heard that a lot in high school about the kids because they felt like, okay, you was black, but you was really trying to be white. That's what
So the
I was
Carlton
like.
Banks, the Carlton Bankses
Basically,
of the world.
Carlton Banks.
Being the Carlton Banks was now people saying you like Russell, kind of like Russell, then you kind of be on some Russell Wilson type shit right now. So like, and my freshman year of high school, I lived in Orange County with my uncle Judge. So he only Trell knows that joke. It's my uncle Keith, my dad's youngest brother. If you watch the early days of Sports4U, you will understand. That's why Trell's laughing. But my uncle Keith, my dad's youngest brother, he moved back here from Chicago, and he wanted me to move in with him and his new family for my first year of high school. And I went and lived with him. I went to school called Ocean View High in Huntington Beach. And I could count, Faith, real talk. There's about 20 blacks in the whole school, BK. Like 20 blacks. It's not a whites, it's not Hispanics, not a different variations of Asian, where there was Asian or any of that nationality, but it was 20 blacks. It was like that scene in Higher Learning when Cube was pointing out the white people were at Disneyland, the Japanese people were at Chinatown, and we in the black hole. The black hole was like where all the black kids were. It was like 20 of us there from 9th to 12th grade. Like one scene, and if you was, and when I first got there, I did start hanging out with the white kids because I didn't know any brothers there. And it's kind of crazy. It took a white girl to actually come get me to come hang out with the brothers.
Never mind. Nope. Go ahead.
She was Italian. She was Italian. So let me
go ahead.
clarify.
Go ahead.
She was Italian.
Sorry.
So I have a couple more questions for you guys. When you hear the word strength or strong, what does that mean to you now compared to when you were younger?
It means now I can say I can defend myself, and I don't care if you like it or not. Like if I have friends or someone that don't talk much, I'm always like, hey, how come you don't talk much? Blah blah blah. Now it's just like I have the strength, and it's like, you know what, that's cool. And then they turn around and be like, how come you don't talk? I'm like, I just leave it on red. So it's having the strength to deal with life as opposed to back then. Because back then I didn't have the strength to deal through life. I grew up, I guess, an emotional kid. So for me now, I have the strength to navigate through things and be like, okay, that really doesn't bother me, or I just worry about myself. And that's actually done wonders for me sometimes mentally, because I don't have to worry about other people's opinions, other people's projections. Is either you understand me or you don't. And if you don't, you can go try to understand somebody else. Because as long as I understand me, I'm going to surround myself with people who understand me. And if, so then I just walk that long road alone, like the Book of Eli.
That was a good movie.
It was.
I think it also comes with a level of awareness as well, of just knowing what was, what is, and where you are, and being okay with those factors. Strength doesn't have to be like physical, but just being comfortable with yourself, being comfortable in your own skin, and also being present for those in the ways that you can be present without overextending yourself.
I like both.
For me, as a kid, strength was all physical. But now growing up, now in this moment, it's emotional depth, it's emotional intelligence, it's mental health, it's being there for the people I need to be there for, and saving some for people I don't know. And it's also a level of just understanding that change is going to happen and that I need to embrace that change when it comes.
Right on.
For me, obviously, like BK said, strength when you're younger. You're talking about, being strong and masculine. I was never that. I was skinny then, I'm skinny now. That's why I'm hashtag Dad Bod Squad. So therefore, but more with me then the strength now, because I've been saved since I was 14, and I didn't really get more into my faith and spirituality until I got into my 20s and 30s, and more so now in my 40s. So, it's me with the spirit, the strength I find spiritually, knowing that I can go in my prayer closet, have a talk with the Lord, and tell Him what's going, thanking Him for waking me up, and praying for that, make sure things just go smooth throughout the day, whether not just with me, but others who I considerably care about, you guys and my family and my daughter and this and that. Emotional, obviously, is making sure is knowing that I can be there for somebody and be vulnerable, and I can be vulnerable to somebody else, and knowing that I won't be judged. And the same thing when it comes to mental, where you can just be able to just woosah, talk about whatever it is you got to talk about, and you don't have to worry about somebody looking at you like you're a weirdo.
I want to chime in on this too. For me, as a woman, it was, sorry if y'all hear my loud daughter in the background. She on that VR headset, and anyway,
I understand.
Being strong for me meant you lock in, you don't reach out, you find a way around it, you find a way to figure it out, and you make it happen. Now I don't see that as strength. What I see as strength now is being able to go, for example, to Nessa, and shout out to Nessa and JoJo, Monty, and Leslie. I go to them and I share things that I wouldn't share necessarily with a lot of people. Some of my fears, some of the things that I don't feel confident about, some of the things that are hurting me, and some of the hurt that I've been through. And I'm thankful that they are there for me to be able to release that, but also to receive what they have to say. So strength for me right now is being open and honest in all areas of my life. A couple of comments I want to get to. They were having a discussion in the chat where Mimi was talking about how she was called Oreo, but she loves Oreo. And then TJ said, well, his term is coconut, but he loves coconut.
I've heard coconut. I've
I've
heard
never heard
coconut.
that one. I've
I've
never
I've
heard
heard
that one.
coconut.
Coconut was
Yeah.
new. Coconut is new.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
Because
never heard coconut
you
before.
you know her, John. Ashley.
Mhm.
She's been called coconut because she's Mexican, but she grew up watching Disney and stuff, so she moves differently. So she always told me that they call her a coconut for that. So
Mm.
Shout out
Nessa
to
I
my
said, you
watch
niece.
see how
Disney.
creative.
well, because she doesn't think like the typical, I guess supposedly the stereotypical what I don't know what a Mexican female is supposed to think or a culture is supposed to think like, and she's different. She leads not follow type of person. So I guess if you don't act, it's almost like being called an Oreo, but for them, it's
Oh,
coconut.
so the coconut version is to Hispanics is what the Oreo is to black people.
Right.
Yeah,
And
Okay.
Nessa
That's
said,
the
you
news
see
to
how
me.
creative they are being called Oreos
JoJo.
and coconuts just to show our color as an insult. But Oreos and coconuts are delicious and they can't discourage no one. I know that's right.
Shout out to my girl
Mimi
Kristen
said,
in the chat. She's actually I think I'm not saying Chris either a therapist or a psychiatrist. So
hey,
Yeah, there is a difference. Yeah, you're right.
yeah, I remember which one.
Kristen from Sport for You.
Yes, she
Shout out to her.
yeah she's good.
Yeah, I'm still trying to look for that one, but it's because even sometimes even your own homies or something like that, you like for me it's hard to get into like mental health or talk about something because depends on who you're talking to, they can easily just turn into jokes, and sometimes I always feel like it's never a good time for jokes. It's like, all right, let's lock in and talk about it, but you know it is what it is. Like sometimes laughter is always good medicine, but there's always times that I just want to have a discussion session and joke about it later or something. But it's always good to have the right type of people in your circles that you can actually talk to. So
Right.
Yeah.
Mimi said before her mom passed, her last words to her were be strong. Being strong always meant not showing emotion, not crying in front of people, and pushing everything deep down. Now, strong equals the opposite. I
mhm.
feel that, Mimi. TJ said for him, strength meant being physically strong. Now it's more about being mentally and emotionally centered. Of course, one can be healthy as the fittest man alive, but if not, it's useless.
Yep.
So I got uh here's a question. Being that each of you have a woman or women in your lives, whether it's a woman in your family, a woman you're connected with in a circle like you guys are with CCN, or in friendships, I want you guys to take a minute and let the women in your lives know how you would like to be supported when experiencing challenging times with your mental and emotional.
I'm going first because I just went through this. So I'll say it now because some people know, but most people didn't know. I just went through a legal custody battle with my daughter. Trell knew, Nessa knew, JoJo knew. I don't think I ain't told you yet. Mark knew because he's my day one. He knew, and recently I got legal custody. So there was things going on with my daughter that her mom wasn't telling me, and I kind of was like telling her when we was having these mediations between one another before we went to the actual mediator. you shouldn't have to go through that by yourself, because she's went through that. My daughter's mom is battling anxiety, and she's always been on the go with her oldest daughter. She felt like, okay, yeah, you're present, but I sometimes just be on the go, be on the go, be on the go, be on the go. And with me, it was, even when we were together, I told you I'm here. Even though we're not together, there's nothing more important than my child. So when I got legal custody, it was a weight lifted, and now we can work together, because I should not, like, my daughter, I found out my daughter had ASD, but she kept that from me for a year. And I told her, like, you shouldn't have to went through that. Even if we got to go to the sessions together, I'm going to go. And my mom told me this, I had to get this done because she got tired of seeing me hurt. And when my mom said that, I went back and I was like, dang, I didn't know she was right. And I asked her, like, you know what you said really hit. He's like, you're not a mother. So I see you. How's your weight on you? So to the ladies, when it comes to supporting men, especially those in my life, just being there to listen or just being present to keep us sane goes a long way. Trust.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't got to say much. You ain't got to do much. Just being present and showing you care is what gets us through, and know that we are going to be all right. Well, for me personally.
Yeah. I just want to say to the women that I know, friends, even some that I've talked to on the personal level here in CCN, just thank you for showing patience. Thank you for listening and not judging. When we're all, not perfect on this planet, there's no such thing as a perfect person on this planet. We all got flaws. But thanks for always, when I need tough love, whether it's like a conversation or the look, I appreciate it because it keeps me like, all right, I got to move this way differently and stuff like that. Continue to understand me, try to understand me, and I definitely appreciate everything that you guys have done for me, or everything you guys have done for me so far.
BK, you want to go first, or just like?
Go ahead.
All right. 2025 has had hands and feet. I have been knocked every which way, and I've been turned every which way but loose. But if not for the strong support system that I have, especially from the women in my life, that temptation to take a long walk off a short pier would have been greater than what it has been.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I appreciate them for doing the things that I do need. I just need present, hear me out, listen to me, and be just just if I need to hear something, because I could be stubborn. Ask BK, I could be stubborn.
Oh yeah.
I could be stubborn. Yeah. That was a lot.
We
That was a lot right there.
we all can.
Yeah, trust and believe.
That was way too much. You were at a 7. I need you at a 3. All right.
Yo,
But yeah, like, I absolutely appreciate every single last one of you. Like, I love you from this day till my last day, like my mom included. Wherever she is, love you, Mom. Wherever she
What?
BK?
I have some amazing women in my life, and there are like 4 in particular that like holds me down. But I will say that's my mom, that's my wife, that's my daughter, and there's Nova Kane. Shout out to all of them. But I will say, a few months ago, I got some news from a family member that hurt me. Cried for hours, and my daughter walks in the room and she says, "It's okay, Dad. I understand, it's hard, it's heavy, and it's something that you've never been through before, so it's scary. And then I looked at her and I started laughing. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe how emotional, intelligent you were to come in to tell me that. And like every time I
That's
go
what's
through
funny.
something now, or every time there's like something heavy on my heart that is unknown, which is why I say, change, just accept the change, because it's just new and eventually you will get through it. So I have 4 amazing women that always make sure that I know that, and I appreciate them so much. But if there's one thing that I can say that I just need from them, is when I do bring my emotions, just don't overthink it,
Mhm.
because sometimes we can overcomplicate things, and sometimes it's not that big, you know.
Talk about it.
It's just simple.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Lena said, it's okay not to be okay. Embrace your struggles. They're the first step to healing. Even the fiercest storms pass, making way for brighter days ahead. Shout
Amen.
out, I want to
Yeah.
say
Eloquent.
shout out to Lena. She always puts that nail in it just the right way. So before we close out today, I want to bring up a segment that we like to call serving crumpets.
These graphics are crazy.
Those
Yeah, the
graphics are
graphics.
incredible.
Graphics
Yeah,
are
I,
What?
Next
I,
level.
I gotta get in contact with your engineer because you know what I'm saying.
Well, if you need my engineer's number, just DM me because I do all my graphics myself. So,
Show you right.
serving crumpets.
Oh, okay
Mm.
then.
Thank you.
Toot
Yeet.
your own horn over there. I feel it.
Um, serving crumpets is a segment where you leave a little bit of breadcrumbs. Normally, it's for the audience that's listening, and shout out to the 93 that are with us today. I appreciate you, and I know that these fine brothers of CCN appreciate you as well.
Yeah.
But today, I want you to leave a different kind of crumpet. So, if you could give a message to your younger self about being open,
Ooh,
expressing yourself, and making self care a priority, what would that message be?
Okay.
I'll, s-
Who wants to go first?
I'll do it. Uh, I
Okay.
would I would tell my younger self, be unapologetic for expressing how you feel, because if you keep it bottled up inside, at times it's not going to come out the way you want it to come out later on, because it might come out out of anger or despair. So I would tell my younger self, if there's something that you need to speak out about, do so. There's nothing wrong with cleansing your soul of negativity or something that's weighing you down. So that's what I would tell myself: is be strong, not just be a he-man, but also emotionally, mentally. Never be afraid to, you got someone to talk to. If it's a female, talk to a female. It shouldn't be an embarrassment to, ask a female for advice, because 9 times out of 10, a female will always have a different outlook and perspective in life that a man can't see. So always never be afraid to speak out. That's what I tell my younger self.
Mm.
All right.
All right. Before the baby comes back, tell the motherfuckers no. Like tell them folks no. Like, do your own research. Believe in yourself. Your time is coming. Your feelings are valid. Believe in who you are. Believe in things that you believe in. You are right. The things that they tease you about are the things they will clamor for. Like, do not carry the weight of the world and somebody else's opinions and false on your back and on your heart. Like, you are okay. You are enough. Is what I
That's
would tell
good.
Dr. JB.
I'll go Dex and then let BK close it. To young Jonathan Watson, if you was here, 41-year-old Jonathan Watson, don't worry about being accepted by everybody. Because
Mm,
where you at now? There were friends you had when you were younger, who you tried to fit in with. You felt like you had to do stuff just to be accepted by their, just to be accepted. And now you ain't heard from the people, and God knows when.
Mm.
Real ones gonna be around no matter who you are, no matter what you do. Learn who is your homies and learn who are your associates. And when it comes to being vulnerable, don't be afraid to speak out. I know men would tell us back then, it's not macho to show our show our emotional side, but it's a new day, and we as the men got to start prioritizing not just our physical health, our mental health, our emotional health, and our spiritual health. Don't be stubborn and do the macho thing. Make sure you have your health in all aspects in order. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself right where you find yourself in a real dark place, and you don't want to be there. Stay positive.
Very good. Thank you, John. BK, you want to close it out?
Sure. I will tell young BK to stay the course. Sprinkle just a little bit of radical on top of that. It's okay to say the thing that you find. It's okay to push the issues that you want to push. And it's okay to pursue the dreams that you want to pursue. Don't let anybody tell you that they're not good enough and that you're wasting your time. Because like John said, look at where you are now. You wouldn't have gotten here if you never pushed yourself and got out your own way. And not let other people tell you which way to go. Follow your own path. And don't fumble your wife, because you almost did.
Good message there, BK.
Shout out to Mrs. BK, man.
Hey, Faith, I got one more thing that I want to add. Shout out to you for putting this all together, because not everybody know, but everybody in this room knows the trials and tribulations you've been through for the past couple of weeks. And by the way, it's still on site for the perpetrator. We ain't forgot. But the pain, anguish, frustration that you've been through the past couple of weeks, to still find the time to put others' mental health on the forefront for us to talk about that, all of us appreciate you. Because for the ones that are out there listening that didn't have anyone to share this discussion, you're someone's savior today.
Absolutely.
Amen.
So shout out to you.
Y'all ain't about to make me cry up on here. I got a reputation to uphold, okay?
No, we gonna make you cry.
I just got my crown back.
She's not just Wrestle Faith. She's not just Wrestle Faith. She's not just graphics faith. She's emotional faith.
Yeah.
Very much emotional faith.
Crash out faith.
John,
not crash out now.
Thank you, Trell. That means a lot. I just feel like sometimes my brothers, and I mean this of all men, sometimes my brothers get left in the shadows, and I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's right. And if I have a platform, whether it's one person listening or the 96 that's with us or more than that, I want you guys to be seen. I see how hard you guys work to build your own channels, to check in on us. I know Trell has checked in on me. I know Big Oos, John has checked in on me. I'm getting to know BK and JB, Kev and Dallas, JT. They have all checked in on me since I've been a part of CCN. And whatever I can do to show the spotlight, to give y'all some love, and also help others understand the importance of men's mental health, especially among men of color, I'm going to do that. And if somebody got something to say about it, don't try me. Okay? I'm going to just say that.
She got a back scratcher for your ass.
I sure do. A couple of comments before we... Matter of fact, don't do it. Don't do it. Okay? A couple comments before we close
Hey,
out.
Leslie.
Nessa said, laugh out
Yes.
loud. Sometimes we overthink just because we care. And that's true.
Yeah.
As women, we do. We overthink. We maybe say what we think things should be because we care and we want to get it all out and make sure you're feeling good at the end of the conversation.
Yeah, and
And
it also goes in reverse too. Like we constantly checking in on you. We ain't trying to be annoying. We're not trying to be like, hey, pay attention to me. I'm trying to, and like we genuinely checking in because we know what you're going through mentally, emotionally, and all that stuff. So we're not trying to be annoying. We're showing that men do care out there. So just bear with us. We just trying to make sure you good up there.
Mhm.
and let me say this, ladies. I feel like I need to say this because I just went through this with a friend. Just because, well, ex-friend now, just because a man is being nice, checking in on you, make sure you're okay, don't mean he trying to, he ain't trying to bing bang pow. You know what I mean? Anyway,
Target practice. We ain't trying to target practice everybody. We actually trying to be good human beings.
Yeah.
shout out to Mimi because Mimi was up with ATD this morning doing our watch vlog.
Why she got thrown on the bus like
Real. Y'all had a long
Hey,
day.
shout out to the Bonnet Club. You know what I'm saying? That's the Bonnet and
For
Blanket
real.
Club. Shout out to y'all.
Yeah, I was a body club. We was the hoodie club over at Sports4U this morning.
Yeah, you sure was.
Yeah.
You
Y'all
look good
dedicated.
doing it.
I was a
See,
snoring club.
This is why I love Nessa. I know that's right. We riding that Dawn for real. All right, y'all. Look at that. We
By the way,
love
my
the
girl
men.
Chris is a therapist, Faith, by the way.
Yes, I saw her comment. And this statement is true. The women of CCN, we are 20 toes down for the men of CCN. Don't try it. Don't do it. Come correct. Don't come at all. That's our advice for y'all out there in the internet world. We protect our brothers. Okay?
In the words of a
Appreciate it,
famous,
too.
in the words of a famous street racer, family.
Family.
It's all about the family.
It's all about
So,
family.
Jack.
Something on this boy. Remember that was on this boy. Hey, Tanisha.
All right,
Tanisha.
y'all. Uh-oh. Did I
Come here.
freeze?
Let's watch it.
You did. You
Can
did.
y'all still hear me? I think.
You
Yes.
cold up there? We can hear you though.
Oh, there you go. You back.
All right. So y'all, we are going to close out because whatever's going on with my computer, it's saying hell to the no. It's in its hell no error too.
It's telling you to
Let
wrap
me
it
just
up.
say that. Yep. So thank you everyone. JT, John, Trell.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
It's on.
And then your computer's like, wrap it up, me. I'm gonna wrap it up for
They
you.
really are going to hell no error.
Yep. That
There it
computer
is.
said, "You're right." I said no.
It pulled it last night.
That computer said, I
We've
said
been
no.
up too long today. We tired.
Y'all, I'm just gonna say deuces, oozes.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just gonna say deuces, oozes. And we out. Check y'all later.
Yes. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It ain't even gonna let me end the stream. Come on now. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
we
you
got
gonna
to
end on
do I
my
have to
time
keep saying
now.
bye now? Am I supposed to do
Yeah,
just
all
the
right.
thing down until hey,
See y'all later.
until it goes?
Wash your ass.
All nation.
Stay black if it counts.
Are we still on the air?
Yeah,
We still on the air
so
still?
I'm gonna continue to say wash your ass because people don't wash.
Oh,
their
let's
ass.
go, Jody.
Subscribe to our channels.
I mean, they watch
All
it,
of
but
them.
it's the lazy.
All of them.
Sports4U
Just go to
Wrestling.
CCN.
All
Just go
of
to
them.
CCN. Just get them all of them.
Culture
All
Clash
there.
gang.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Gang,
We
gang,
gonna
gang.
see you on them
Gang,
live.
gang, whole lot of gang
Hottest
activity.
Network and IWC.
Oh,
You know
You
what
know
I'm
what
talking
it is.
She's gone. Are we
Yeah,
gone?
Oh man.
No, we ain't going.
We still here. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, we still
we
here.
might as well just, you know what I'm
the
saying?
wheels fall off.
Yeah.
Hey man.
You
So
know what I'm
man, so
saying?
Thank you,
man,
Faith.
So how y'all
having
doing,
it.
man? Like,
Man,
what's
man.
going on, guys?
Listen, man, you know what I'm saying? We doing good, brother.
This is
Like,
CC
shout
and
out to
Man
you.
Takeover.
I can't
Shout
call
out
it.
to you and your show and interviewing Luke Gallows, man. That was
Oh,
too
yeah, that
sweet.
was
You know
good.
what
That
I'm
was
talking
good.
about?
Hey,
That was
man.
good.
Hey,
You know
real
what
talk,
I'm
man.
saying?
You can still kiss my ass, but I appreciate you,
I
brother.
don't like you
that
on
one.
the football field anyways, you know what I'm saying? But right now, we brothers, we family, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, real talk, man. Appreciate you, man.
Yes,
Man.
you're dang right we did. That's what we here.
Hey, you know
Yeah.
what I'm
I
saying?
mean, why
We
not,
always
right?
get our
Right
shows
now.
taken over, so it's only right that we take over a show.
Yes.
And she's
And
gone.
we taking
Yo,
over.
hold on.
One shot at a time. Well, she'll be back to coast. We're gonna be here for a minute, man. But this was a good.
Yeah, who's
special.
next? Who taking over show next?
Who show?
wants
Mama
some?
Roses? Huh?
Who wants
Main
some?
event?
Mama Roses?
Huh?
Who
Are
wants
we
some?
taking the
Who-
Honey
Huh?
Roses next?
Where Dallas at anyway?
Good point. Yeah, where is Dallas?
Yeah.
ATD, we done that, huh, John?
Yeah. We started this takeover. So next weekend we started this.
Yeah, we
Don't
did.
show up on more shows apparently.
What
started this
other
at Wrestle
IWC
Faith.
network